Zoz Brooks here from the second day of qualifying at RoboSub 14. 18 teams pre-qualified for a spot in the semi-finals, which means over the past 2 days, they each got 2 attempts to try and score the maximum number of points possible to win a coveted spot in the final round. These 18 teams were judged by a dedicated team of expert judges from the sponsoring agencies, particularly the Office of Naval Research.
The interest really is to get them motivated and get them to want to work in new technologies. We really want to have those students move on and work for naval applications. So one of the things we're doing is we have 10 internships available that some of the students here can start working next year on unmanned systems for the Navy.
Here's a rundown of today's qualifying action. Let's go and check out how they did. Perennial frontrunners Team Sonia from ETS picked up serious points on both attempts, including a correct marker drop in the first qualifier. However, thruster noise was causing problems for their hydrophones, preventing them from making it to the pinger. They'll be working hard to fix this before the finals. University of Florida's Subjugator robot had problems in the first session, maintaining active stability but refusing to drive anywhere. The problem was tracked down to competing mission planners, and they had a great second run. The yellow and red flower buoys, through Lover's Lane to the pinger, and then surfacing in an octagon. Harbin Engineering University's robot had some problems getting through the gate in their first session, but made it through on the second. Risking their points on an all-or-nothing run, their gamble paid off as the robot nosed the red flower buoy before they ran out of time. Virginia Tech had compass problems and other technical difficulties on both their qualifying runs, getting points for bravely entering the water but not quite managing to make it to the gate. Kyushu Institute of Technology made it through the start gate in both qualifying sessions, but on the second attempt felt that they needed more. They risked their points on another run, but sadly weren't able to leave the dock area. Coming into the competition with a history of success, the University of Maryland were disappointed in their first session when the robot took 12 minutes to leave the dock, skipping almost everything but the pinger. They made up for it in their second attempt, getting both flower buoys and making a grab for the vase, then surfacing in the correct octagon. So you feel like you're in a good place going into the finals?
We're in a pretty good place. Compared to yesterday, we only managed to make it through the gate. Today we're doing much better.
UCF's robot nailed a green buoy on the first run and then headed for the pinger. The team played it safe and kept that as their best run from the 2 sessions. Delhi Technological University came back from a leak on their first run, but needed to seal in their tether. Competition rules don't allow anything to protrude out of the water, so they had to end up throwing the whole thing in the drink. Amador Valley High School had to pull the robot out of the water several times on both runs for reconfiguration. It got the gate and a path marker. Newcomers Carl Hayden High School Falcon Robotics showed that they may be rookies, but they're no amateurs. Their robot made it through the gate and successfully sniffed the red rose. Embry-Riddle had trouble getting started on the first run, but then went straight for the red flower buoy on the second. They chose to lock in the points and spend the rest of their time on autonomous survey practice. The US Naval Academy had to battle some serious hardware problems with their main sensor. The sub spun like a whirlpool but recovered to do well with the flower buoys and Lover's Lane, then dashed for the sonar pinger.
For the hardware problems we're having, I don't think software can solve them. We rely pretty heavily on this sensor that's failing right now, so I guess we'll probably fool around with the electronics before tomorrow, see if we can get that fixed.
Reigning champions Cornell had an outstanding first run, attempting all tasks. This included putting a torpedo through the small red heart, but they narrowly missed both love letters. The second run showed their famous consistency. Even when the robot got held up at the blue hearts, it timed out and delivered the vase to the correct octagon with a mere 25 seconds remaining.
The most important thing to our success, at least, is lots of practice and basically including everyone on the team, because if everyone has the feeling that they're all pushing together, we were able to get many people focused and get a lot of practice time in.
North Carolina State had no problem finding the red flower buoy on both runs. When they completed Lover's Lane as well, they locked in the points. University of Rhode Island's sub tackled buoys, hearts, and the sonar pinger, but then got physically snagged on a Lover's Lane. The clock ran out as the robot couldn't quite struggle loose. San Diego City Robotics was forced to scratch their first attempt, but made it through the gate on their second. With no time to recode, they took the points. USC had to contend with major heat problems when their cooling pump burned out. Forced to concede their semi-final run, they refused to give up and requalified for a wildcard slot. Running on minimal sensors in order to keep cool, they made it to the red flower buoy and the edge of Lover's Lane. AU Vic scored the second wildcard qualifier. Their robot missed a flower buoy by a hair's whisker, but cruised triumphantly down Lover's Lane. Reykjavik University were the alchemists of the day, smelting the lead of a flooded sub into competition gold, claiming a red rose buoy and a lap of Lover's Lane. It seems there's no Icelandic word for surrender.
No. Just everybody's been working so hard, the electricians, the mechanical team, working day and night to get the boat up and running, and then the software guys taking over, doing their thing, and it just all worked out, and I mean, we couldn't be happier.
The teams that didn't quite get to the semi-finals deserve a mention as well. They were the University of Alberta, Indian Institute of Technology Kharagpur, Montana State University, Southern Polytechnic State University, UC Irvine, Utah State University, Mesa College SDRAM, and San Diego Ibotics. These teams will have one more shot at the last chance prize on the training course tomorrow. That's how the qualifying rounds went down. Tomorrow is the main event, the final battle for ultimate bragging rights and cash prizes. 8 teams made the cut into the finals. In the order of the runs, these are Reykjavik University, North Carolina State, the U.S. Naval Academy, University of Maryland, University of Rhode Island, ETS Team Sonia, Cornell University, and the University of Florida. Don't miss our live webcast with all the action from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Time, Sunday, July 17th. Check it out on RoboSub.org.